Thank you so much for joining us. Take us through which big counters move the market today.
Good afternoon to you too. Look at today, we'd have the likes of Williamson Tea, was one of the big movers in the market. Then we have a bit of the KCB. We have some bit of movement in Safaricom, but we also have to look at the market in the sense of as we approach the holiday season, there's a lot of profit taking going on, and most people are either selling off to try and get some money for enjoying during the festive season.
So talking about year-end, how do you expect the bourse to close?
Well, we've seen it going up by about very few, like 0.10 basic points, and going down maybe by 0.05. I'd say it would close at about fairly 3,200 at the most on the higher end.
Well, let's take a look at a report that's out of Kenya saying that yes, Arab private sector investment is wanted by Kenyan business. Is Kenya concerned about the quality or the quantity of the investment?
Well, we'd look at it from two folds, because the Arab investment has been with us since a previous regime when we had the Saudi government coming on board. They've loaned us up to as much as 15 million pounds way back. They've helped in a lot of infrastructure projects. And currently, although there was a lot of furor about it, we found the Libyan government came on board and did some investment by purchasing what we call the formerly Grand Regency Hotel. And if you look at the investment, more or less, it's tailored towards the service and infrastructure. And Kenya would be looking at further investment, and especially in the infrastructure, looking at Kenyan wanting to develop more in terms of its infrastructure, setting up more power generation facilities. They need as much investors as possible, and leaning towards the Arab investors might be the best solution for them at this point in time. So yes, we're looking at the quality from that end, and quantity in terms of the size of the projects that they tend to take up. Infrastructure for one, then maybe leaning towards the service industry.
Just to take an example out of South Africa, President Jacob Zuma said Zambia is South Africa's investment partner because of regulatory frameworks. It's easy to do business between the two countries. Can the same be said about Kenya?
Well, I'll take, not to be said like I'm using his words, but if you listen to Michael Joseph today about once they launched the Safaricom bond, he says that there's a lot of interest out there in terms of foreign investors. And the key reason is, politics aside, there's been systems in place. The CMA has been regulated. They've put in place checks and balances to ensure that investors come on board and their investment is secure. If you look at the central bank, how it's playing a key regulatory role, it's proving to be of benefit to any investor. And what is happening is that we find that the key regulatory authorities are finally coming on board and proving their worth in terms of ensuring that Kenya becomes a lucrative and attractive investment market.
And how much investment will Arab investors bring to Kenya?
Well, we'll be looking at, in terms of the key areas that they're looking at, we'll look at maybe 5 to 10 billion and thereupon going forward. But it's also on a case specific in terms of the key investment areas that they will be investing in.